Good evening and welcome to the news at 10. The death toll from a terrorist attack on a mosque in Egypt's North Sinai has risen to 305. At least 27 children were among the dead and another 128 people were wounded. For the second day, Egyptian warplanes carried out strikes over Sinai, targeting several moving vehicles of some of the attackers. Here's more on the aftermath of yesterday's massacre. In Syria, Russian long-range bombers continued to hit Daesh targets in northeast Syria. Russian news agencies citing the Russian Defense Ministry said terrorist strongholds and groups were among the targets hit by the bombers. Meanwhile, UN Special Envoy for Syria, Staffan de Mistura, said he will be inviting the Syrian opposition delegation to Geneva for the intra-Syrian talks scheduled for Tuesday, as his deputy held talks with Syrian officials in Damascus over the negotiations, which will focus on a new constitution and elections. Yesterday, the opposition team named its unified delegation to the Geneva talks, headed by Nasser al-Hariri, who took part in previous talks in Geneva last year. Humanitarian aid workers arrived in the Yemeni capital Sana'a following the Saudi-led coalition's permission for the UN to resume flights of aid workers. A UN spokesman said that after a nearly 3-week blockade, the coalition has now given clearance for UN flights in and out of Sana'a from Amman, involving the regular rotation of aid workers, but no green light had been received for UN requests to bring humanitarian supply ships to Hodeidah and Salif ports. International aid groups have welcomed the decision to let humanitarian aid in, but said aid flights are not enough to avert a humanitarian crisis. About 7 million people face famine in Yemen, and their survival is dependent on international assistance. Bangladesh and Myanmar have agreed to take assistance from the UN refugee agency UNHCR for the repatriation of hundreds of thousands of Rohingya Muslims. Accordingly, a joint working group of 3 parties is to be formed within the next 3 weeks to fix the final terms of the repatriation process. After repatriation, Rohingya Muslims will be kept at makeshift camps near to their abandoned homes. Under the deal, Myanmar will take measures to see that the returnees will not be settled in temporary places for a long time and will issue them an identity card for national verification immediately upon their return. Mexico's Popo volcano had 3 explosions, one of which shot smoke and ash 4 kilometers into the sky. According to Mexico's National Disaster Prevention Center, the first explosion launched burning fragments high into the sky, while the other 2 spread ash over the villages and fields south of the volcano. The volcano has been active since the mid-1990s, and authorities have placed the volcano on yellow alert, urging residents to avoid outdoor activities. Are you a fan of virtual reality? Then get ready for China's first virtual reality theme park. The Oriental Science Fiction Valley Park will have 35 different virtual reality attractions, including shoot-'em-up games, virtual roller coasters, and experiential tours of Guiyang province's most scenic spots, built at a cost of $1.5 billion. The Guiyang Park will have a huge transformer-like robot which tourists can bungee jump from, while most rides will use virtual reality goggles and motion simulators to thrill their audience. The park is expected to bring major economic benefits to the local community when the rides start running next February. China is looking to ride a boom in demand for virtual entertainment and a domestic virtual reality market that is set to hit almost $8.5 billion by 2020. In sports, Valtteri Bottas denied quadruple world champion teammate Lewis Hamilton the final pole position of the Formula One season, leading a Mercedes 1-2 in Abu Dhabi Grand Prix qualifying. The pole was the Finns' second in a row and 4th of the campaign. Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel qualified 3rd, with Australian Daniel Ricciardo lining up alongside him on the 2nd row of the grid for Red Bull. France's Nico Parlier and Daniela Moroz of the United States won the men's and women's races at the International Kiteboarding Association Formula Kite World Championships in Oman. 16-year-old Moroz led the field throughout the tournament, finishing 27 points ahead of second-placed Elena Kalinina of Russia. Parlier wrapped up the men's event with a race to spare after he overtook Britain's Oliver Bridge on the second day. To the end of tonight's news, I'm Dana Abusham. Thanks for watching and have a good night.